For the Love of Money, The Nightwatchman, by Lovey Smitham, Chapter 7. One acquaintance dissolved after another. At the end of the year, she had no close friends. She had not met a rich bachelor. She had saved no money, living for the moment. Those moments grew into days and months, and knowing the lease would end, she lay on her bed and worried what to do. Worrying caused another wrinkle on the opposite side to match the first one. A long hair was growing on her chin. She took manicure scissors and cut it close. She really began to worry then. The money had bought her a year of extravagance in search of a rich second husband after Earl Lee Watson, who did not know where she had gone. Time did not grow patience, and she spent the last 2 months being frantic. Where would the lady go once the money was gone? Eaten up by a leased house, an automobile, and expensive clothes. That time was approaching, but she had lived like a mysterious queen for 1 year. How could she extend that for another year? That described Lady. She, like the mansion, was nothing on the other side of what you see front side, at least nothing one cared to explore. But a certain woman, Nancy Thomas, a stranger to Lady Adelaide, did go there in search of an answer to a nagging question that kept her up several nights in a row. Finally, she dared to drive by herself up High Hill, knock on the door, and she marched in front of her mirror beforehand to see how she would look and what she would do and what she would say. But standing there at the front door, she suddenly could not remember a word of it. Lady did not answer her knock, nor the bell she rang. In front of the man, her place was in front of the man she was married to in the at the fireplace, who loved her, waiting for her to come home. She felt now, standing at the door of the lady on the hill, how lucky she was. "There you are," he would say. "Welcome home." Earlier, Nancy Thomas wanted an outside conversation, knowing her husband was going to come home, take off his boots and socks at the door and yell, "What's for dinner?" But now it was different. She would be glad to see him. She would ask him what he wanted her to cook. He would answer as usual, ham, lamb, ram, beef, bull, or bear. She would grin like she had not heard that 100 times. "I went to see the lady on the hill everyone's talking about." She offered an explanation he did not ask for. He didn't really care so long as she was there now. Their togetherness was complete. She did not intend to go back there again. Leave others to it, someone who was more curious. Plenty of those around. If she got lonely or restless, there would be other houses she would be welcome into where there was a greeting, a beverage, a cozy couch to sit on and talk, or a kitchen booth to squeeze into if the family cat or doggie had not already commandeered his or her place. He would be glad to see her, too. It meant a crumb cake was fixing to get sliced, and he might get a pinch of it. Welcome into that home was assured. One house of many, overpriced, similarly built, a tree-lined boulevard like many others, heavily mortgaged like hers was. This time Nancy Thomas' husband asked, "What lady?" Why did he ask? She didn't know, but it was a convenient time to air out a thought she had been having thoughts about. Lady on the hill, around her age, She supposed a woman in town who drove a nice car, heavily shaded, seen but not heard, and was always alone from other women, often with gentlemen friends, no children around her or with her. 1 year she was just there in town, living alone up there on that hill, all those rooms, maids, all that land, a gardener, several automobiles getting polished, only one being driven by her. She had no chauffeur. Interesting, in fact. I thought you didn't like her, he said. I never heard you show any interest in getting to know her. Must be on a list of potential contributors for a charity of yours. Even little kids don't ring her doorbell to sell candy for the school. Her door is not exactly a welcome mat. I expect it is just a facade, nothing on the other side, just a picture and not a moving one at that. You still didn't say why you went up there. She could not or would not tell him. Instead, she smiled one of her best and asked him if he would like to have Wolf Brand chili with saltines, his favorite, for supper. He grinned. The moment was over when she could have or would have told him what she worried about, why she couldn't sleep at night, why she went to see the lady on the house on the hill, and told him what she was able to tell him that worried her. A dream, a fantasy, a truth, or was it not worth the trouble to inquire or invest any further in the lady on the hill? You could ask Nancy Thomas, but would not learn that a man called her on the telephone and offered her a generous amount of money, a reward for any information about the lady who lived on the hill. But she never called him back. She threw the number in the trash and washed her hands. She was not the kind of woman who would palm dirty money or from the sort of man who could give her that much money. The man who called Nancy Thomas inquired about the lady on the hill's identity and offered money for answers was none other than Earl Lee Watson.